Welcome to the Memory Scope channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. Japan, 1880. A woman in winter layers grips a parasol. Her posture composed E.G. Stillman's camera freezes elegance amid modernization, capturing a quiet moment when tradition and Western influence briefly share the same frame space. United States, 1918. Harry Houdini performs a daring illusion, muscles, taut eyes locked on the crowd at the height of fame. He transforms skepticism into wonder, proving escape itself could feel like magic for everyone. Washington, 1980. Before and after frames reveal Mount St. Helens serene, then shattered in seconds. Pressure erased forests and certainty, reminding a nation that landscapes like lives can change without warning in a single violent instant. Alton, Illinois, 1939. Robert Wadlow stands nearly 9 feet tall, gentle and immense excess growth hormone. I stretched his body and fate, leaving a brief life that still measures tallest in human history ever recorded worldwide. California, 1895. Loggers pose beside a fallen giant sequoia older than empires when it was cut. More than 26 centuries of slow growth traded for proof that size alone offers no protection against progress. Norfolk, Virginia, 1941. School children tug on coats preparing for home. Ordinary routines continued as war loomed abroad, each buttoned sleeve quietly signaling a childhood shaped by uncertainty and disciplined resilience during America's uneasy wartime transition. Ringgold County, Iowa, 1937. A farmer's daughter cradles her brother on a worn bed. Peeling wallpaper and patched blankets speak louder than words, revealing depression, hardship inside a single, intimate room shared by countless families. United States, 1947. A housewife smiles with a week's groceries costing $12, 50 careful budgeting-fed twins, husband, and even the cat reflecting post-war optimism balanced by disciplined thrift in everyday American household life. Aberdeen, Washington, 1920. Loggers crowd trucks stacked with immense timber. The Coates-Fordney crews symbolize an era when forests fueled expansion and muscle machinery, and risk-defined daily labor across the booming Pacific Northwest economy. Then, Giverny, France, 1921. Claude Monet strolls his garden painter and creation entwined, surrounded by color and light. He shaped nature into vision, proving observation itself can become a lifelong masterpiece through patience, repetition, and devotion. Box Elder County, Utah, 1940. Farm boys eat supper prepared by their mother in simple meals. Family labor and love converge, sustaining rural life as uncertainty pressed hard beyond the table during a changing America. New York City, 1955. A Lincoln Tunnel police vehicle waits at the entrance. Post-war traffic surged, and order moved on wheels, guarding the arteries that tied suburbs to the city's beating heart day after day. New York City, 1929. Sunlight floods Grand Central through unobstructed windows. Soon rising, buildings would steal these rays, marking a moment when openness yielded to density, and the vertical city claimed the sky forever after. New York City, 1932. Shacks rise inside Central Park's reservoir, dubbed Hoover Village during the Great Depression survival, reshaped public space, turning leisure grounds into symbols of national desperation amid widespread unemployment, hunger, and displacement. United States, 1985. Teased bangs and bold curls define vintage hairstyles. In the 80s, hair became identity broadcasting, confidence rebellion, and excess in a decade that celebrated standing out loudly through fashion, music, and television. Athens, Greece, 1880. The theater of Dionysus stands weathered, yet enduring here. Ancient audiences once gathered, reminding modern viewers that drama, democracy, and public voice share deep roots within the city's layered historical landscape. Today. United States, 1909. Turkish and Greek wrestlers square off in Greco-Roman style. Strength crossed borders as immigrant athletes turn sport into spectacle blending. Old world traditions with new world crowds eager for novelty rivalry and shared excitement. McLeansboro, Illinois, 1937. A tenant farmer's family gathers for dinner. Shared food masks worry as land labor and livelihood remain uncertain during a decade defined by endurance against economic collapse, dust debt, and displacement nationwide. Norfolk, Virginia, 1941. Students stand beside wooden desks, hands over hearts, reciting the Pledge of Allegiance in a tense pre-war year ritual and routine reinforced unity, teaching loyalty and shared identity inside an ordinary American classroom. Iowa, 1899. A young couple poses on their wedding day, faces solemn yet hopeful. Their union marks a beginning shaped by rural traditions, limited means, and optimism, rooted in partnership, faith, and the promise of building a life together. Istanbul, 1955. The ancient walls of Constantinople stretch across the landscape scarred, yet standing, once guarding empires. They now border modern streets, reminding passers-by that centuries of conquest, survival, and change are layered into everyday urban life. United States, 1905. Children prepare for school buttoning clothes and tying shoes in quiet domestic moments. Responsibility begins early, reflecting a time when education, discipline, and family order shaped daily life long before modern convenience. Italy, 1979. Sting rides a Vespa GS 160, relaxed and stylish music stardom meets Italian design, capturing freedom, youth, and motion in a decade where image, individuality, and cultural crossover defined celebrity life on the road. Pie Town, New Mexico, 1940. A homesteader sits with his wife and daughter inside their dugout home. Newspaper-lined walls and worn furniture reveal endurance as families carved stability from earth itself during hard years of rural survival. Italy, 1944. An elderly woman embraces a U.S. Fifth Army soldier. Gratitude, overwhelming words. Liberation brings tears, relief, and human connection as civilians gather to thank strangers who helped return freedom after years of occupation. Egypt, 1961. Louis Armstrong plays his trumpet for his wife. Music drifting through the air far from home. Jazz becomes a private language of love, proving its power to cross borders, cultures, and continents. California, 1956. Elvis Presley signs autographs as fans crowd close. Fame moves fast and charisma turns moments into memories, signaling a new era where youth culture, music, and celebrity devotion collide in post-war America. Los Alamos, New Mexico, 1974. The nuclear facility stands quiet and controlled behind fences and security. Decades of scientific ambition and moral complexity linger, born from wartime urgency and carried forward into an uneasy atomic age. Pie Town, New Mexico, 1940. A farmer's wife serves homemade meatballs from preserved hog meat. Careful preparation sustains family life, reflecting self-reliance and resourcefulness where every meal carries months of planning and hard-earned labor. Malheur County, Oregon, 1939. A farmer and his young son stand outside their home, dog resting behind them. The scene reflects inheritance beyond land, passing work ethic, resilience, and responsibility from one generation to the next. Northome, Minnesota, 1937. Children of a cutover farmer play in a dirt yard, pushing toys and petting their dog amid hardship, imagination, and companionship, offer brief escape from economic struggle and uncertain futures. United States, 1924. Cowshoes used by moonshiners sit, quietly deceptive by design, during Prohibition, ingenuity, blurred legality, as criminals adapted rural tools to outsmart agents and protect secret paths through forests and fields. Finnmark, Norway, 1900. A Sami family poses together, rooted in tradition, and land their lives reflect centuries of indigenous culture, reindeer herding and adaptation, enduring despite pressures from modern borders and outside influence. London, 1933. Engineers conduct a double-decker bus tilting test, pushing balance to its limits. Public safety meets spectacle, ensuring innovation could proceed without risking passengers in a rapidly modernizing city. Paris, 1900. Notre Dame rises above the Seine, timeless and commanding before wars and restoration. The cathedral stands serene, embodying faith, art, and national identity at the turn of a new century. Brooklyn, New York, 1974. Buildings line the East River, worn yet alive industry housing, and history intersect, capturing a gritty era before renewal, when the city's edges reflected both decline and stubborn endurance. Little Fork, Minnesota, 1937. A child of blueberry pickers stirs a cup at a crowded table, surrounded by pails, and labor childhood unfolds alongside work-blending play with the rhythms of migrant camp life. Charleston, West Virginia, 1938. Coal miners' children sit on a bed, faces dark with dust. Makeshift walls of cereal boxes reveal poverty, while their expressions speak of resilience shaped by labor, industry, and survival. Paris, 1943. A woman feeds a homeless cat amid wartime streets, even during occupation and scarcity. Small acts of kindness persist, offering quiet resistance through compassion in a city strained by fear and hunger. Pittsburgh, 1944. A steel worker's daughter drinks water from a dipper in the kitchen. Industrial labor sustains the household, while simple routines reflect working-class life shaped by factories, war demands, and family endurance. Creek County, Oklahoma, 1940. Sons of a tenant farmer pour bran to mix hog feed, shared chores, teach cooperation early as children contribute to survival through daily labor beside wells and weathered tools. Pie Town, New Mexico, 1940. A homesteader's wife irons clothing by hand, leaning over a cabinet surrounded by jars and rough wood. Domestic labor defines order, dignity, and perseverance inside a modest frontier home. Detroit River, 1926. Rum runners attempt to cross frozen water from Canada as ice gives way beneath their truck. Prohibition fuels danger and desperation, where profit, risk, and law collide in moments of sudden disaster. Belfast, 1911. An invitation announces the launch of the Titanic, promising triumph and modern marvel. Few could imagine the optimism inked on paper would soon contrast with tragedy, turning celebration into one of history's most haunting ironies. New York Harbor, 1885. Crates holding the Statue of Liberty are unloaded piece by piece before symbolism freedom arrives as cargo awaiting assembly into an icon that would redefine welcome, hope, and the American shoreline forever. New York City, 1939. Albert Einstein stands beside his sister Maya. Newly arrived as refugees, genius and family share quiet relief as exile offers safety, while Europe descends further into darkness and war. United States, 1860. A woman is dressed with a crinoline layers, expanding her silhouette fashion shapes movement and space, reflecting an era where elegance demanded structure, patience, and physical restraint. United States, 1880, a photographer steadies his camera, preparing a long exposure craft and chemistry meet patience, capturing reality slowly in a time when each image required intention, stillness, and technical mastery. Patras, Greece, 1930. A cafe crowd gathers along the waterfront, talking and watching ships pass, leisure and commerce blend, revealing coastal life shaped by conversation trade and the steady rhythm of the sea. United States, 1959. A Ford police car gleams with chrome and authority design mirrors. Confidence as post-war optimism fuels larger vehicles, stronger presence, and a belief that order rides on 4 polished wheels. United States, 1964. The Addams Family appears on television, blending humor with the macabre. By celebrating the strange, the show gently mocks conformity, proving oddity could feel familiar in American living rooms. Millwood Township, Minnesota. 1908 students and their teacher pose outside School District 89. Education stands formal and proud, reflecting community investment in learning as a pathway toward progress and social stability. Chicago, 1929. A mailman poses beneath towering stacks of Christmas parcels. Holiday cheer meets exhaustion as commerce, connection, and expectation surge just before economic collapse reshapes the nation. Bearsay, Scotland, 1900. A fisherman stands weathered by wind and tide. His life is bound to the sea, reflecting generations who measured time by seasons, catches, and the relentless North Atlantic. United States, 1946. A family brings home a Christmas tree. Post-war joy filling the air. Tradition resumes with relief as peace restores simple rituals once paused by sacrifice and separation. United States, 1976. Steve Wozniak's Apple. iSits, exposed and hand-built from modest circuitry, emerges a revolution, signaling the moment personal computing begins reshaping work creativity and daily life. North Dakota, 1966. Snowdrifts tower over homes during the Great Blizzard. Nature halts movement and routine, reminding communities of a vulnerability despite modern tools and weather forecasts. Giza, Egypt, 2550 BC. The back of the Great Sphinx reveals its massive tail. Even unseen angles display monumental ambition carved to endure eternity under desert sun and silence. Hong Kong, 1973. Bruce Lee stands sharp and focused, embodying disciplined martial arts become philosophy and cinema as precision, speed, and presence redefine strength on a global stage. Iwo Jima, 1945. U.S. Marines raise the American flag atop Mount Suribachi. The image captures sacrifice and resolve, transforming a brutal battle into an enduring symbol of collective endurance. Edinburgh, Texas, 1939. A migrant family's daughter plays beneath a trailer, clutching a hose connector. Childhood adapts to displacement, finding imagination amid poverty and uncertainty. Malheur County, Oregon, 1939. A young boy carefully copies a recipe for his mother. Learning happens at the kitchen table, blending literacy, responsibility, and family cooperation. New York City, 1926. Children crowd playground equipment, laughter filling the air. Urban space becomes freedom, offering joy and motion amid crowded streets and growing skyscrapers. Southeast Missouri, 1938. A barefoot child reads quietly at school. Despite hardship, curiosity persists, proving education and imagination endure even when resources are scarce. Moon, 1972, Apollo 16. Astronaut Charles Duke leaves a family photo on the lunar surface. exploration turns personal linking, human intimacy with the vast silence of space. Chattanooga, Tennessee, 1952. Coca-Cola. Bottles exit the annealing oven for final inspection. Precision and mass production ensure consistency, fueling a brand that flows into daily American life. Hamilton, Ohio, 1943. Children gather to read newspaper comics amid wartime headlines. Humor offers escape, proving laughter remains essential even during global uncertainty. Sheridan County, Montana, 1937. A farmer's daughter stands beside a cast iron stove. Domestic space reflects resilience where heat, labor, and family converge in a crowded rural home. South Dakota, 1927. The six grandfathers stand untouched before Mount Rushmore. Sacred landscape faces, transformation marking a moment before spiritual significance yields to national monument. United Kingdom, 1930. The Dynasphere monowheel rolls forward, futuristic and strange innovation experiments boldly revealing optimism that machines might redefine personal transportation. Edinburgh, Scotland, 1900. A Victorian family rides a roller coaster, delight mixed with fear, leisure embraces speed signaling, changing attitudes toward thrill and modern amusement. London, 1962. Charles Tunbridge rides his scooter through city streets, dog Susie in the sidecar. Everyday eccentricity adds charm, celebrating companionship and individuality in motion. Long Beach, California, 1937. Oil derricks crowd Signal Hill like a mechanical forest. Energy demand reshapes land trading open views for economic power and industrial growth. United States, 1957. A worm vending machine stands ready for customers. Convenience culture expands even into bait, proving automation's reach into the smallest corners of daily life. Samarkand, 1910. A melon vendor waits patiently. Fruit-stacked high trade tradition and color define the market, where livelihoods depend on seasoned soil and passing crowds. New York City, 1997. Garry Kasparov concentrates during his match against Deep Blue. Human intuition confronts machine calculation, marking a turning point in the relationship between intelligence and technology. United States, 1935. A kitchen stands orderly and worn tools close at hand. Domestic labor centers, daily life, reflecting efficiency, restraint, and survival during uncertain economic times. New York City, 1922. Downtown streets bustle beneath rising towers. Momentum builds upward and outward as finance, ambition, and modern pace reshape the IQ city's identity. Turin, 1972. The steering wheel of the Maserati Boomerang reflects an era obsessed with futurism. Its sharp angles and integrated gauges blurring the line between car and cockpit, turning driving into a bold experiment in industrial design. Ikesdalen, 1885. Farmers pause in a Norwegian valley as Axel Lindahl captures their quiet resilience framed by steep mountains and hard soil, revealing a rural life shaped by endurance tradition and the demanding rhythm of nature. Berlin, 1917. A taxi rolls through wartime streets topped with a balloon of coal gas, a fragile substitute for scarce fuel, showing how civilians improvise daily survival as World War I strained technology resources and ordinary routines. Crystal Springs, 1939, inside a Mississippi. Barbershop men gather amid clippers and conversation where haircuts double as news exchanges and the small room becomes a social anchor in a segregated South on the eve of war. Harlem, 1939. A couple dances at the Savoy Ballroom. their movements floating across the floor as swing music fills the air, capturing joy, elegance, and black cultural brilliance during a golden moment of Harlem nightlife. Hayward, 1981. The Osborne One arrives as the first successful portable computer, bulky yet revolutionary, promising mobility, with floppy drives and a tiny screen, and signaling the dawn of personal computing beyond corporate offices. Weslaco, 1939. A barefoot migrant boy leans inside his family's tent, worn overalls brushing patched canvas as sparse belongings surround him, quietly revealing childhood, shaped by poverty movement and resilience during the Great Depression. Malheur County, 1939. A farmer's wife walks a dirt road carrying water from an irrigation ditch, her steady stride reflecting the unseen labor of rural women, sustaining households through drought isolation and economic hardship. Chicago, 1909. Sears advertises the motor buggy for $395, promising affordable freedom as mail-order dreams put automobiles within reach of ordinary Americans, reshaping transportation and shrinking distances across a rapidly modernizing nation. New York Harbor, 1892. Ellis Island opens its doors as hopeful immigrants arrive by the thousands, carrying luggage, languages, and dreams, stepping into a new chapter that would reshape American identity for generations. New York City, 1940. Superman soars above the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, thrilling crowds below as a comic book hero enters public spectacle, offering escapism and optimism during uncertain days before America joined World War II. Southampton, 1912. The Goodwin family poses together, unaware their voyage aboard the Titanic will end in tragedy, their photograph becoming a haunting reminder of lost lives and shattered hopes tied to history's most famous sinking. Los Angeles, 1975. An entire house inches down city streets on heavy rollers, revealing a growing effort to preserve architecture as urban development accelerates, blending nostalgia, engineering, and the strange spectacle of moving homes. Oklahoma City, 1939. A mother gently fixes her son's hair inside their shack, an intimate act of care amid hardship, as worn clothes and watchful siblings frame dignity and love within the struggles of migrant life. Harlingen, 1939. Seated in a canvas tent, a migrant mother cradles her baby, offering warmth and protection as scattered belongings hint at impermanence, capturing tenderness surviving inside the instability of seasonal labor. Jersey City, 1971. Steel towers rise across the Hudson as the World Trade Center takes shape, its skeletal form symbolizing ambition, modern engineering, and a skyline transforming into a statement of global commerce. London, 1982. Robert Plant pauses to sign Led Zeppelin's debut album for a police officer, a quiet human moment where rock mythology meets everyday life long after the band reshaped popular music. New York City, 1915. Women window cleaners balance high above streets, challenging gender norms as they claim industrial jobs, their presence reflecting changing roles for women during a rapidly mechanizing urban era. Ponca City, 1905. Geronimo sits behind the wheel of a locomobile, blending tradition and modernity as the Apache leader engages with new technology, creating an unexpected portrait of adaptation and cultural complexity. New York City, 1932. Passengers board a gleaming Pan Am Sikorsky S-40, marking aviation's luxurious early days when flying promised glamour, progress, and a shrinking world connected by air routes. New Jersey, 1929. Workers wave from a tower built of confiscated alcohol barrels, soon to be burned, a striking symbol of Prohibition's reach and the dramatic, sometimes theatrical enforcement of moral law. Tokyo, 1935. Soba deliverymen race through streets balancing towering trays on bicycles, a display of skill and speed that reflects urban rhythm, culinary tradition, and the efficiency of everyday Japanese life. Paris, 1925. A man poses with his dog, their quiet bond captured in a simple portrait, suggesting companionship and comfort during an era shaped by post-war recovery and changing social norms. London, 1998. Royal corgis hop down from the Queen's plane, charming onlookers as even state travel includes familiar companions blending monarchy tradition and gentle humor in modern public life. Weslaco, 1939. A migrant boy stretches toward a kerosene lamp atop a cabinet, navigating a cramped trailer filled with jars and cups, revealing how ordinary tasks required care and balance in confined living spaces. Corpus Christi, 1939. A migrant autowrecker stands among broken vehicles, salvaging parts for survival, illustrating informal labor networks that sustained families when steady work disappeared during the Depression. North Sea, 1918. Inside the control room of a German UB-110 submarine, cramped instruments and steel walls surround sailors conveying the tense mechanical reality of underwater warfare at the close of World War I. Walton, 1976. A Shell gasoline sign stands along Delaware Street, its bold logo facing the camera as small-town America navigates. Energy crises, nostalgia, and the lingering optimism of roadside culture. Maltby, 1905. Breaker boys labor in coal breakers, small hands sorting stone from coal, exposing children to danger and dust as industrial demand overshadowed safety in childhood and mining communities. Chicago, 1948. United Airlines stewardesses pose proudly, reflecting strict appearance standards and professionalism that defined early commercial aviation as airlines sold safety service and glamour alongside air travel. Al-Karak, 1907. A Bedouin girl gazes at the camera facial tattoos marking identity and heritage, offering a rare glimpse into cultural tradition, resilience, and youth in early 20th century Jordan. Dublin, 1910. The Guinness Brewery dominates the skyline, its vast industrial, some presence symbolizing Ireland's brewing legacy, economic strength, and the deep ties between craft labor and national identity. Long Beach, 1929. Villa Riviera rises above the coast, a luxury landmark promising elegance and ocean views, later adapting through decades of change as architecture outlives the eras that created it. Boston, 1920. Gas and electric workers pause on Broad Street tools, in hand representing the workforce powering urban modernization as cities increasingly depended on invisible networks of energy and infrastructure. Portland, 1905. The Forestry Building stands constructed from massive Douglas fir logs, celebrating natural abundance at the Lewis and Clark Expo, a monument to ambition later lost to fire and memory. Corpus Christi, 1939. A young migrant boy sits on the 10th floor among bedding and clothes, his quiet posture reflecting childhood shaped by movement, uncertainty, and the constant negotiation of limited space. Malheur County, 1939. In a dugout basement, a farmer's wife bakes cornbread on a wood stove, filling the earthen room with warmth, sustenance, and perseverance during hard rural times. Paris, 1888. High above the city, Workers balance on wooden scaffolding around the rising Eiffel Tower. Hammering iron into place, their labor transforms a bold engineering gamble into a monument destined to redefine skylines and symbolize modern France. London, 1876. Two sailors drift quietly down the Thames on a narrow barge, the river eerily empty, dubbed the Silent Highway. The scene reflects an industrial artery, momentarily calm, carrying echoes of empire trade and lives shaped by the water. Stonehenge, 1963. A crane's hook grips stone number 23 during restoration, but the ancient monolith suddenly topples. The accident sparks public outrage, reminding the modern world how fragile even prehistoric giants can be when touched by machinery. Collinsville, 1926. A fire truck and its uniformed crew pose proudly before their firehouse in Madison County. Gleaming metal and confident faces reflect civic pride, community trust, and an era when local firefighters stood as everyday heroes. Pine Ridge Reservation, 1899. Red Cloud faces the camera with steady resolve. The famed Lakota leader once forced the U.S. government to close the Bozeman Trail, proving resistance could reshape policy and preserve Native sovereignty even in defeat. New York City, 1987. Rows of public telephone booths line busy sidewalks, ringing and humming with voices. These glass boxes connect strangers and families alike, soon to vanish as mobile technology quietly rewrites how the city communicates. United States, 1890s. A young woman sits for a daguerreotype. Her elaborate hairstyle perfectly arranged holding. Still for minutes, she embodies patience, vanity, and the ritual of early photography when portraits demanded endurance as much as beauty. England, 1915. Cousins Tsar Nicholas II and King George V pose in each other's military uniforms. Their striking resemblance highlights royal kinship amid World War turmoil, a symbolic gesture of courtesy, masking empires on the brink of collapse. Nashville, 1966. Colonel Harlan Sanders greets customers as he opens a new Kentucky Fried Chicken near Fort Campbell. In his white suit, the founder blends folksy charm with fast food ambition, turning fried chicken into a global business. United States, 1930s. An itinerant worker walks a dusty road during the Great Depression, belongings slung over his shoulder. His journey reflects widespread displacement resilience and the quiet dignity of millions searching for work and survival. Chicago, 1953. The massive Marine Angel cargo ship inches through the Chicago River, dwarfing bridges and spectators, measuring over 600 feet long. Its passage showcases post-war industrial power and the engineering choreography of an urban waterway. United States, 1890s. A bride carefully dresses for her wedding lace and fabric, arranged by hand. The intimate moment captures anticipation and tradition, revealing how marriage marked one of life's few formal milestones in a changing century. Cambridge, 1910s. A milk delivery cart stands along a quiet road, bottles clinking softly before refrigeration in supermarkets. This daily ritual sustained households, reflecting a slower rhythm of life, built around local farms and trusted roots. American West, 1870. A wagon train pauses along the trail as cowboys and settlers rest beside their covered wagons. The photograph freezes westward, expansion blending hope and hardship as families push toward uncertain futures. Nevada Desert, 1950s. Vast craters scar the barren landscape remnants of nuclear testing. These wounds in the earth reveal Cold War anxiety, where scientific ambition and military power reshaped nature in preparation for unimaginable destruction. United States 1965 Ford unveils wrist-twist steering, a futuristic control system, promising comfort and visibility. Despite innovation, the experiment never leaves testing a reminder that not every bold idea survives the road from concept to adoption. Princeton, 1951. Albert Einstein steps outside his 72nd birthday celebration. Moments before sticking out his tongue, the candid instant captures the playful humanity behind the genius, transforming a brilliant physicist into an enduring cultural icon. United States, 1850, a man wearing tinted glasses cradles a cat for a daguerreotype among the earliest photographed generations. His calm pose bridges everyday affection and the dawn of visual history preservation. Damascus, 1865. A Jewish girl gazes softly from a hand-colored photograph, her clothing delicately tinted. The image preserves identity and tradition, offering a rare, intimate glimpse into 19th century Middle Eastern Jewish life. Los Angeles, 1985. Travelers move through lax gates beneath glowing signage and low ceilings. The scene reflects the jet age boom when air travel became routine, transforming airports into modern crossroads of speed scale and anonymity. United States, 1968, inside a G.C. Murphy store. A well-dressed family prepares to buy a new RCA, chalk-colored television. Their purchase symbolizes rising consumer confidence and the growing power of media inside American living rooms. United States, 1950s, a vintage Coca-Cola machine stands ready bottles priced at 6 cents. Its bright logo and promise of refreshment capture post-war optimism and the early branding of a beverage that would circle the globe. Malheur County, Oregon, 1939. 4 farmers' daughters wait quietly by a rural road for the school bus. Their coats and lunch pails signal determination as education offers hope beyond the isolation of Depression-era farmland. Ordway, Colorado, 1939. A farmer's wife carries her young daughter across an open field, holding her close dressed. Simply, she embodies endurance and maternal strength during a year when hardship defined rural American life. Malheur County, Oregon, 1939. A smiling farmer's wife rocks gently inside her one-room dugout home, surrounded by sparse furniture and a wood stove. Her calm expression reflects resilience amid economic struggle and environmental challenge. San Antonio, 1939. A little girl drinks water from a metal cup dipped into a pail. The simple act captures childhood necessity and resourcefulness during a time when comfort was scarce and routines centered on survival. United States, 1910, millionaire Benjamin Guggenheim poses formally unaware of his fate aboard the Titanic, later refusing a lifeboat. His reported words reflect honor, privilege, and the rigid codes of masculinity that shape tragedy. Appalachia, 1970s. Women coal miners stand underground, faces streaked with dust. Their presence challenges tradition, revealing changing labor roles as economic need and determination push women into one of America's toughest industries. Dallas, 1963. Lyndon Johnson is sworn in as president aboard Air Force One, flanked by Jackie Kennedy and Lady Bird. The hurried oath marks a nation reeling from assassination power, transferring amid shock and grief. United States, 1960s, a young Barack Obama smiles for the camera, unaware of his future path. The casual portrait captures ordinary beginnings before. History reshapes a life into one of global political significance. Niger, 1973. The Tree of Tenere, lies destroyed after standing alone for centuries, once the world's most isolated tree. Its loss underscores the fragility of landmarks when chance and carelessness collide. Britain, 1945. 18-year-old Elizabeth dons military uniform as she enlists in the Auxiliary Territorial Service, nicknamed Princess Auto Mechanic. She learns to repair engines, signaling wartime change, and a future queen shaped by service. England's 1640s, a massive oak beam bears a visible cannonball hole from the English Civil War. The scar endures centuries later, a quiet architectural witness to violence that once tore the nation apart. Detroit, 1950s, a typical American family poses proudly in their home, surrounded by modern comforts. Their smiles reflect post-war prosperity, suburban growth, and a cultural ideal built on stability, consumption, and optimism. United States, 1922. A small child sits confidently in a pedal car, hands gripping the wheel. The toy mirrors real automobiles, showing how technology and imagination shape childhood even in the early 20th century. Niagara Falls, 1901. Annie Edson Taylor poses beside the barrel that carried her over the falls, her cat perched nearby. At 63, she becomes the first, shunned to survive the plunge, chasing fame through daring spectacle. Berlin, 1989. Traffic jams form near the Brandenburg Gate as East Germans cross into the West. The spontaneous celebration marks the fall of the Berlin Wall, collapsing decades of division in a single euphoric night. United States, 1942. The real-life models for American Gothic stand beside the famous painting. Their ordinary presence contrasts the artwork's stern legacy, revealing how everyday people became timeless symbols of rural American identity. Cleveland, 1936. Mrs. Cleveland Owens smiles through tears as a radio crackles with news from Berlin announcing Jesse Owens' gold medals. In that modest living room, global triumph feels intimate proof that talent can outrun prejudice. Manhattan, 1879, at Broadway. And 84th Street, a quiet farmhouse, sits amid open land, long before towers and traffic. This humble structure marks a moment when rural life still clung to what would become one of the world's busiest crossroads. New York City, 1904 guests gather beneath chandeliers at the hotel, Astor sharing laughter, cigars, and conversation. Such dinner parties defined elite social life where deals, reputations, and alliances were shaped over multiple courses and polished silver. St. Louis, 1905. A woman stands calmly on the frozen Mississippi River, her figure dwarfed by ice and sky. The moment captures winter's power and a fleeting confidence that nature briefly could be crossed and conquered. United States, 1930. A Ford model. A pickup waits patiently at a railroad crossing as a train roars past the scene. Reflects an era when automobiles and railways briefly shared dominant symbols of a nation still learning to balance speed and caution. New York City, 1915. Children race and laugh through Central Park while the Clark Mansion rises in the distance. Their play unfolds against a backdrop of wealth and ambition, revealing how public spaces united vastly different worlds. Deadwood, 1876. A dusty southern view reveals a frontier town exploding with tents. Timber and promised Deadwood stands raw and lawless, fueled by gold fever, where fortune seekers arrive daily and order struggles to keep pace. Milwaukee, 1924. Inside a cramped workshop, early Harley-Davidson motorcycles take shape by hand, oil metal, and ingenuity fill the air as a small factory quietly lays the foundation for a brand that would define American motorcycling. United States, 1845. An elderly face stares into the camera, time etched deeply into skin and eyes. This rare image preserves a life born before photography itself, bridging centuries through a single fragile exposure. Philadelphia, 1839. Robert Cornelius sits motionless for 15 minutes, staring into his homemade camera. From copper plates and borrowed optics emerges the first self-portrait photograph, an accidental beginning to humanity's enduring obsession with capturing itself. United States, 1885. 4 generations stand together, arranged carefully for the camera. Their shared presence compresses decades into one frame, illustrating how photography became a powerful tool for preserving lineage memory and the passage of time. Dallas, 1955. James Dean and Elizabeth Taylor wander the Texas State Fair, momentarily unguarded between crowds and carnival lights. 2 rising icons share a casual pause before fame hardens them into permanent legends. United States, 1890. Inside a Pullman train car, passengers recline in upholstered luxury while the landscape blurs past. These rolling rooms transformed rail travel, turning long journeys into refined experiences of comfort, status, and modern mobility. New York City, 1941. The Empire State Building towers alone against the skyline, unchallenged by neighboring giants. This rare solitude highlights a brief moment when it truly reigned supreme, a solitary symbol of ambition before the city surged upward again.